Helpful for life.
When you apply heat to food, not only are you making it safer to eat and possibly easier to digest, you also may have a massive effect on how the food tastes. Think about potatoes, for example. They taste a little different when they're French fries than when they're mashed potatoes and when they're roasted potatoes. You get the point. However, there are two main things I want to draw your attention to when it comes to using cooking as a way to add flavor. That is the Maillard reaction and caramelization. Both of these have to do with the browning of food, and you've probably already experienced them sometime in your life, if not multiple times. The Maillard reaction is a chemical reaction between amino acids and reducing sugars. Now, don't get too caught up in the exact science of it. Just know that it can only happen over a certain heat, and it can apply to all different kinds of food. Some examples of that are that delicious brown crust on steak or some other meats, the crust on a bread, and the color and taste of beer. The Maillard reaction produces such a wide variety of flavor compounds that scientists actually try and recreate those exact compounds to use for artificial flavorings. So one tip with Maillard reaction, like I said, it has to happen over a certain temperature. So for example, with meats, you can't boil meats to get that Maillard reaction. So make sure if you're gonna have some meats that you want to have that delicious Maillard reaction on, you cook it at a high enough heat. Caramelization, on the other hand, is when sugar browns. Now, the sugar could be naturally occurring with the food, or it could just be plain old sugar by itself. In fact, if you've ever had caramel, the candy, that's just sugar that's been heated up to a certain point. Now, the caramelization creates these delicious, sweet, and slightly nutty notes, as well as a beautiful brown color. Kind of like my delicious caramel skin in the summer. Yeah, right. Sometimes you want to actually add a little bit of sugar to a food to help it caramelize. A good example of this is adding some kind of sweetness to a marinade so you can get that caramelization, maybe in addition to that Maillard reaction. However, one of my favorite forms of caramelization has to be the caramelized onions. And lucky for you, the next thing you're going to see is a video on how to make them.